All of this has accumulated to me having a warrant that I have yet to talk about in these videos, and I'm going to mention it now. And it is over a $5 million warrant. And I want you to be aware of this. I've mentioned this on Facebook and other social media platforms. And I'm going to show you the proof and the evidence. And this is what this is accumulated to. And this is not trivial. This is not some arbitrary law that they're just selectively applying to my brother and I. This is malicious. People all around the country, no matter who they are, if they upset a cop, the cop can find some reason to arrest them, and then whether it is to ruin their weekend, whether it is to tarnish their names so that it messes with their future employment. And then what really exacerbates the problem is that the judges, the prosecutors, the public defenders are all in cahoots with the scam. And so we have to, as a people, put our attention and be wary and vigilant of people that are in positions of power to guard not only our safety from true predatory criminals, whether they be blue-collar criminals or white-collar criminals, but they have to acknowledge, safeguard, and follow their oath of office when they were sworn in as a public servant. They have to acknowledge their oath of office as a public servant. They're here to serve the public. That's what I wanted to say about that, and let's continue.
After I said we're done, and if you want to be
But
held in contempt of court, I'll be happy to do it.
I didn't get to say anything. Do I get R&R? No.
He
No.
set a tab alternate bond $250.
Why not? Why do I not get R&R?
Corrections, can you remove him from the podium, please?
But why can't I get R&R?
Corrections, can you remove him from the podium,
My
please?
brother's not me.
Gene was in the room before me and had spoken to him, and I wasn't really quite sure what he had said. Well, I wasn't sure at all what he said, because it's like a booth. They have one person go in and then the other person comes in after. So as I was with Scott Bernstein and I was trying to say something, I knew I had to speak, so I was getting ready for my spiel. And my spiel was, I'm here in special appearance, not general, not voluntary, claiming all my rights under the Constitution, Declaration of Independence. But the whole thing about it was the correctional officer kept on interrupting me as I was saying my spiel, and instead of just me going through the spiel and just being done with it, I thought I had to say it clearly without any interruptions. And due to the fact that happened, she kept on interrupting me because Scott Bernstein had told her that was it, that I wasn't going to get a chance to speak. I didn't necessarily know that. So I asked her to stop, and then she wouldn't stop. So then I asked Scott Bernstein, please let me know when it's my turn to speak. And he pretty much ignored me, so I was kind of caught in a dilemma. What should I do? So I proceeded to ask him, is there a reason why you won't let me speak? And he was telling me that I couldn't speak. And I was like, well, she already went through it with my brother. And the fact that he went through it with my brother, I don't get to speak. And I was like telling him, well, my brother's not me. I have a right to say my plea or my side of the story or what's going on. And he didn't necessarily want to hear what I had to say. And he told me I couldn't speak. And in my frustration, I didn't realize to just stay calm and just make the record and get him to say certain things. For some reason, I don't know why I didn't ask for the oath of office. Maybe I didn't want to upset him any more than he was, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. He wasn't going to let me speak, so I should have definitely asked him for his oath of office, but I didn't do that. So when I asked him, can I be released on my own recognizances, and he ignored me, and he just acted like I didn't say anything. And then I should have just stayed there, but I was listening to the correction officer tell me to get off the podium. He actually told corrections to get me off the podium. This is pretty much about 4 years after the fact, so that's about as much as I can remember that happened at that bond hearing. But it just comes down to preparing yourself to understand what you have to say when you have to say it, and stand up for yourself. I was very proud of the fact that I stood up for myself to the best of my abilities at the time, and for that, I feel good. So for everyone out there, definitely do your due diligence to speak up for yourself and get to know the procedures as you're in front of the judge, because when you're in front of the judge, it's a little bit more daunting than it is when you're not in front of the judge and you're practicing.
Come on, guys.
My brother's not me.
He said, come on, come on,
Go ahead, man. Let us go, man. Let us go.
come on.
Come on, this out.
Mr. Ellis,
Yes, sir.
take a deep breath. That had nothing to do with you.
No, I already know that, sir.
I'm sorry you had to witness that. Frankly, I'm sorry we all had to witness that.
Your Honor, I do have probable cause arguments.
Okay?
Your Honor, this is a trust, looking at the four corners of the arrest affidavit, this is a trespass, not a burglary. There's no allegation of an attempt to commit a crime therein. It seems that this was an abandoned property, and he entered into it.
What was he charged with? Burglary and non-felony.
State, want to respond?
Just having a quick look here, Judge.
This may be a trespass and not a burglary.
Windows and
There's no crime therein.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at that snake smile of his. He's literally talking under his breath to Autumn Page about our case, and he's trying to paint my brother and I as though we're mentally challenged or there's a mental issue. Again, I've got to temper down my anger with this snake oil salesman. So he is literally trying to circumvent our rights by saying that we're mentally ill, that there's a mental issue when there isn't any. And that's very, very unbecoming of a judicial officer that he's supposed to be. The gentleman in front of him doesn't realize that they're addressing his case, that they're talking about the case prior. Now, I'm speculating here that he's also worried that his judgment's not going to hold water, and that he could be held liable for what's happened, what has happened. Which, please watch his body language. It's just telling. It's just really, really telling.
What did Judge Francis do?
Judge Francis, we'll talk about it afterwards.
Correct.
I turned around because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to laugh or be scared.
there's nothing in there.
Or
Actually, there's a pretty severe mental health
You need
problem there. So,
Yeah, crime there, man.
and they may very well be hassled, but there's a mental health problem there. And
You can't
Judge Francis is really good at dealing with those issues. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that she's in the right division at the right time. You know, she's one of the kindest people I've ever met, and she does have the patience of a saint.
I can't believe how lucky.
Judge, I'm not seeing anything.
So he pretty much went to speak to the public pretender, Autumn Page. So he's talking to Autumn Page about something that happened maybe 2.5 months before with Mary Jo Francis, and how I went in front of Mary Jo Francis for stealing my own bike and disturbing the peace and obstruction of justice. And he's pretty much saying that I'm crazy for the simple fact that I stood up to him and I was trying to get my voice to be heard about the case that I was talking about right now. And the fact that he brought up that prior case, it's like they dismissed it, but I think they dismissed it with no action. So that means that I couldn't get any I could not get into any other trouble for the next 3 years. So he's trying to bring that case back up because to give me some kind of record so he can justify what he just did. And he's trying to make it seem like I have a mental health issue. And he's kind of agreeing with Autumn Page that we're being harassed. But he also wants to say that I have a mental health issue and the fact that Mary Jo Francis is a great person. So, in all, it's just another way to just paint a picture that they want the public to see and not to look through the lies and manipulations that they're trying to press upon me and my family. So it's, as I'm talking to right now, I'm a little annoyed. It's a lot more difficult to communicate this information while you're in it. Right now, it seems like everything is relaxed, but it's just, we have to wake up to these lies and what they're doing to the people, the masses. They're not giving us the respect. They're not giving us the understanding. And they're definitely not giving us our rights. So for all those that think that, I'm not going to say, all those that think judges are above the law, and that's not the way it works. I think the law has its own standing, and then we have the standing under the law. And the judge got to make sure that those rulings and standings are applied in the right way, not to the benefit of the state or the big corporations or anyone that's not involved to the party. It has to do about the people and the rule of law, common law.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to talk about the hardest case he's ever had in felonies and how heartbroken he was in the fact that he had limited decisions that he could go through. I want you to compare how he talks passionately with care and understanding of an individual who just graduated high school and was going to be sentenced for the rest of his life pretty much in prison. Compare that to two individuals who don't have criminal records, don't have any discretions or past discretions with law enforcement officers whatsoever, that are charged with fleeing and eluding, and compare that to how he treated us, my brother and I. This guy does not belong on the bench. He's not honorable. He's not honest. And it's unbecoming of a judicial officer in this great state of Florida, let alone America. He's disrespecting the jurisprudence of our laws.
Yeah, just like my brother said, he pretty much is making a mockery of the judicial system in this great state of Florida, in this country of the United States. He's putting on a show. He's utilizing cover of words and cover of emotions and acting in a way that's disingenuous to the situation at hand, especially ours and prior situations. You can see from the joking about the shows to this, it's all about painting a veneer of saintdom over him and the system, and that's got to stop. Everyone that pays attention to how these judges communicate, what they say, how they say it, when you don't understand something and your public defender is not expressing it to you or your lawyer is not expressing you in a way for you to understand, this is how they do the cover of deception.
Those break my heart. Break my heart.
You know what's worse? When you got a kid in juvie and then they become your felony client. That
What?
breaks my heart.
Well,
When
yeah.
you represented them in juvie and then they come back as your felony.
Oh, I've had them.
Same here.
I think the hardest case I ever had when I was in felonies is I had a kid who, on his 18th birthday, went out with a group of friends and held up 4 banks with handguns. And for some reason, it didn't go to federal court. It came in front of me. And because it was a first offense, the kid graduated high school and was ready to go to college.